conversation on your home of the Reds.
Parking request from the high new close of an eventful season. I'm Kyle Lee. That's going next on NASCAR Hot Pass. War Racing is the ultimate digital home track for race fans everywhere. Subscribe today and stream over 1,300 racing events live and on demand. War Racing has something for everyone, like NASCAR Weekly Series, sprint car racing, drag racing, off-road racing, and much, much more. Learn more at warracing.com/GoMRN. That's warracing.com/GoMRN.
Ray Mayotte here for eBay Motors. So you order a new air filter for your car. You try to install it, but it doesn't fit. So you take a little bit off the sides. But still doesn't fit? Well, you could try to sit on it. Or just go to eBay Motors and get it right the first time. With over 122 million parts, they have the parts that fit your vehicle. Air filters, tires, headlights, brakes, and more. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors, let's ride.
Three finishes outside of the top 20 in the first 9 events of this season. Set the tone for an eventful year for Kevin Harvick. Former Cup Series champion finished 15th in the final standing, the lowest he's finished in 13 seasons. Harvick says adapting to the new race car took longer than expected.
I think our second half of our year was good. The first half was definitely understand what we were doing and then evolve. And I think we got pretty close to where we were.
He did, however, end the year with 2 wins, coming back-to-back in August at Michigan and Richmond. For more, MRN.com. I'm Kyle Rickey. This is NASCAR Hot Pass on the Total Racing Network.
The Purdue Boilermakers are looking defense with their new head coaching hire. Boilers hired Illinois defensive coordinator Ryan Walters as their new head coach. The Illini allowed the fewest points per game in the country this season at just 12. Purdue running back Devin Lockerbie has over 900 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns this season. What he didn't have? A scholarship. Walters fixed that as his first move in West Lafayette.
Yeah, that's what I thought about. So I'm saying, like, I'm playing against you all right. Well, I found out he was a walk. I'm like, what's going on over here? So first order of business, I'm a full range right now. You're on scholarship, right?
The Indianapolis Colts are 1-3 in the Jeff Saturday era. The interim head coach still lacks major experience, but the former Colts lineman says he wants to be the next full-time guy in Indianapolis.
I plan on interviewing as long as they give me the interview. I enjoy that side of this, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. And again, I'm not discouraged at all. I have a vision of what this could look like in the future.
In other Colts coaching news, tight end coach Clayton Adams has left to be the new offensive line coach at Stanford. The Panthers take on the Warriors tonight at Stanford Fieldhouse. Andrew Lampard tries to pinpoint the best way to attack Steph Curry.
He's the best shooter of all time, so you don't want to get any of this than I would be honest. He's really, really good in the ring, too, so it's like, you really want to take him like a mid-range shot.
Tip-off is at 7 o'clock. There's no Division I college basketball around the state this evening, but this weekend in downtown Indianapolis is the 2022 Indy Classic at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. The event will feature 4 teams, 2 of them from the state of Indiana. Ball State will take on Illinois State at 3:30, and Purdue, the #1 team in the country, will take on Davidson at 6:15. The event replaces the Crossroads Classic. For Network Indiana Sports, I'm Josh Mullen.
Hoop season is back on WSLM. Whether you're listening to local high school girls and boys basketball, IU or Purdue men's basketball, or the Indiana Pacers, you'll need to get dialed in to the WSLM Sports Zone to follow all the action this season. And what better way to enjoy the game on WSLM than to pair it with great food from Papa John's. Go to your Papa John's app to order for pickup or delivery. Call 812-883-3369 or stop in at their location at the corner of Main and Hackberry Street. Either way, stop in for a hot fresh pizza, breadsticks, wings, or desserts and a cold drink today. And keep your radio tuned to WSLM for hoops action all season long. And to hear more great specials from your Papa John's
to charge into this. Deep left field, way back and gone.
Oh, this baby is crushed right center field, and the ball game is over.
Pitch is high, throw to second, good one, got him.
He jumps, he got it. Oh, my goodness. That might be the play of the year.
We're talking Reds baseball throughout the offseason. Be a part of the conversation on your home of the Reds.
Barbecue flex of the highs and lows of an eventful season. I'm Kyle Reed. Actually next on NASCAR Hot Pass.
More Racing is the ultimate digital home track for race fans everywhere. Subscribe today and stream over 1,300 racing events live and on demand. More Racing has something for everyone, like NASCAR Weekly Series, sprint car racing, drag racing, off-road racing, and much, much more. Learn more at flowracing.com/GoMRN. That's Flow.
We're celebrating our 50th season of Coach's Corner on WSLM Radio and ready to take you into the WSLM Sports Zone. Coach's Corner is your chance to get to know your local coaches, players, and staff of each local school and get the X's and O's before the next games. Join us on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. for the Red Hot Stove League for the latest from the Cincinnati Reds, and stay around for Coach's Corner. During the week, you'll also hear from IU and Purdue coaches, as well as updates from Indy Racing, NASCAR, and the Indianapolis Colts. You'll find us on WSLM 97.9 FM and WSLM 1220 AM, along with live streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Be sure and follow us all season for a front row seat and a closer look at high school and regional sports.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Coach's Corner. We are live from the Naders Hater Studios, and it is a family tradition in here tonight. My special guest hosts are Emily Pierce and Nate Bump Pierce. So they are my kids, of course, and Nate is fresh back from AIT and basic training, and Emily is our resident photographer. Say hi, Emily.
So,
You gotta get up there and talk into the microphone before you're a pro. So like the commercial says, this is the 50th season of Coach's Corner. This is our second season of winter sports, and we've really gotten into what we're doing here with the winter season. And if you ask Bub over here, this is his singlet season, his favorite season of the year. So we share singlet season time with basketball and like swim and things like that. So we like to try to spread the love around. Tonight we're going to have an all wrestling edition. We've got several coaches calling in, and we've got some announcements and stuff that we need to make. And hopefully we're going to have a pretty good show here tonight. I'm going to go ahead and start off tonight. I know I usually end the night with our nightly inspiration, but I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the way because we're going to be kind of shuffling things around, waiting on the coaches to get done with their practices and stuff tonight. So tonight's quote comes to us from the legendary Jeff Jordan. If you don't know who Jeff Jordan is, you should be finding out because he is the man. We had the pleasure of going to Ohio to his what he calls his state champ camp, and spent 3 days over there, and really got to meet him and all of his staff and know him on a personal level. And that is an intense workout, to say the least, in the bus.
Oh, yeah.
Whenever they're up at 7 a.m. running a mile and a half, then back down for an hour, then back up and 2 hours of wrestling, and back down, and back up for 2 more hours of wrestling, and it's an all-day thing. 3 big sessions, and then
All within the Grand High School.
yeah, we were actually in the auxiliary gym, slept on the mats and everything. So it was a good time. I imagine not now. All right, so tonight's quote is, "There is no secret pill. It's just training, having discipline, building relationships with your kids, and then working hard." And that I can attest to from my experience as an assistant wrestling coach here at Salem High School.
these kids, and at some point it was probably tougher than some of the things that they would have done during their basic training and things. I mean, we kept these kids going. They would run 3 miles before they ever got to practice, and then we would put, you know, the cardio to them. You know, they would warm up, and then it was just, you know, balls to the wall the whole time. And quite literally, with our medicine ball program, we had this circuit where we would have certain weight medicine balls at certain stations, and each station was a different exercise. You know, picking the ball up, throwing it up, getting more catching it, bouncing, you know, or throwing it back and forth between the 2 other guys. And, I mean, it's intense. And the senior team, nope, not at all. Hey, listen, I'll get you the number. Listen, Greg, you are getting back into your fighting weight. I think you're ready for it. Yeah. You kind of plateau. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and whenever I was working out, and you know, because everybody in the community knows I lost 8 pounds, and what I was doing was, you know, dieting was the biggest part of it, and then, you know, just I would rough walk. I would put on a backpack with 60 pounds in it, and me and Emily would go walking at night, and I was putting in like I was putting in like 8 miles a day doing that, and I noticed that I stopped losing weight, but I was still losing fat because I was starting to put on muscle, and so you plateau at a point. And yeah, I know that's lightweight over there.
Have you ever gotten up at 4 o'clock in the morning?
I wouldn't get up at 4 o'clock.
Oklahoma?
I wouldn't get up at 4 o'clock in the morning in Oklahoma.
Never watched that in my entire life. So the actual rucksack was probably 40, 45 pounds, but that wasn't including our bulletproof vests, our just the clothes we were wearing at the time, our OCPs, including our boots, the import you had to carry, a bunch of other stuff. Just stuff got heavy.
Yeah, imagine it.
Although I didn't mind the rucksacks at all. We got up at 4 o'clock in the morning and it was cold. And like the worst part about the rucks was when they would just make us stop for 20 minutes when it was cold.
Stay there and get cold again. I imagine I get that.
I would have to do the preparatory stretches all over again.
But you know, we were talking about how we kind of ran our practices sort of like, you know, well, like I said, like a Marine Corps veteran and former, you know, state champion or national champion, Division III national champion would run a practice.
Also was invited to go to Olympics, you know, just to add on to the credentials.
Yeah, and wrestled in Japan. And,
Wrestled
you know,
in
the guy that we had coaches knew exactly what he was doing, you know, and putting us through the ringers and things. So getting that and having that background ready and going through what you did, that prepared you for a lot of that stuff. But you know, been talking to Tank a lot, and he's pretty well cut out running from his regiment. And the reason being is he said, I would rather have them in there live wrestling, catching that cardio for that extra 45 minutes or
You get
whatever.
the extra muscle endurance as well.
Right.
Not
So
just
he said he's pretty well cut out running altogether. And whenever I gave him the same look that you just gave me whenever I said that, you know, I'm like, what? But you know, the proof is in the pudding, and you know, Tank runs a solid program. I think, so.
He's always ran a solid program.
Yeah, no matter where he's at. And their numbers with their club is roof this year. I mean, it was just outrageous.
They've always been big. Is it worse? Or,
Well, no. They're. I think he said he had the biggest numbers this year than you're in.
Really?
Yeah, they're really big. Well, you know, everybody kind of fell off with COVID and all that. You know, everybody their professional lives, whatever. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and talk about a little bit of the sporting events that we've got going on through the week, and then we'll take a quick commercial break, and we'll get back into some of the wrestling. Okay, so Thursday night, the Lady Lions basketball team will be, is that home, Greg? Home against North Harrison at 7:30. And that'll be broadcast here on the FM. Friday, we start the holiday tournament at West Washington. That will be broadcast here as well. Salem Lions versus the Borden Braves at 6 o'clock. And then Eastern will take on West Washington at 7:30. On Saturday, we'll have the conclusion of the holiday tournament. The consolation round will be played at 6 p.m. and the championship will be at 7:30 p.m. We also have IU at Kansas at noon. And then on the FM, we'll have the Lady Lions versus Floyd Central at 12:30. And on the AM, we'll have the Lady Musketeers at Rock Creek at 12:30. Yeah. And then we've got Davidson at Purdue at 6:15. Don't know much about Davidson, but we know that Purdue really needs to beat them. So, all right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be right back.
Standard heating and air conditioning is built to a higher standard, so you can focus on the problems in your life that actually matter, like the stair that only creaks when everyone else in the house is asleep. American Standard heating and air conditioning, built to a higher standard.
Give Seth and Marshall a call today at 812-967-3742, and we'll be glad to take care of you.
Hoop season is back on WSLM. Whether you're listening to local high school girls and boys basketball, IU or Purdue men's basketball, or the Indiana Pacers, you'll need to get dialed in to the WSLM Sports Zone to follow all the action this season. And what better way to enjoy the game on WSLM than to pair it with great food from Papa John's. Go to your Papa John's app to order for pickup or delivery. Call 812.
Ho, ho, ho! This is Dalen Orr. Santa Claus is coming to town this year, and we believe he has already made his stop here at John Jones, bringing fantastic deals on all of our year-end inventory. Santa has been looking to upgrade his sleigh, and he has found just his spot to do business. If you're tired of being pulled around by Rudolph and the crew, come check out some of our new rides with plenty of reindeer power. We have a list of cars between all of our 5 locations that we can pull from, and you can see them all in one easy spot, johnjonesauto.com. See something shiny and new that you're wanting on Santa's short list? Give us a call at 877-473-5546 to set up your appointment today. And from your local John Jones family, we want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas.
I know, you're excited, Santa. This coming Friday and Saturday, we have 4 great basketball teams playing in the holiday tourney at West Washington High School. Borden, Salem, West Washington, and East Washington. Santa, it's going to be a great time, so tune in on WSLM AM and WSLM FM for the play-by-play and color and stats and all the action for the holiday tourney at West Washington this Friday and Saturday.
Ho, 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 ho!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Go ahead and hop into the Salem Lions wrestling team right now. Unfortunately, we got our wires crossed and wasn't able to get Coach Andy on tonight. He had a birthday party for his son, so happy birthday there. But we're going to go ahead and kind of go over their season thus far and what we know. And fortunately, Emily got to go to the Scottsburg Invitational and got to take some great pictures there at that, and seen some pretty good wrestling, so we'll get to ask her some questions. Of course, she was their manager last year, so that's going to help out quite a bit. So the Salem Lions wrestling team is coached by Andy McCoskey. This is his 3rd year as varsity head coach. They placed 3rd place overall at the Scottsburg Invitational after having to cancel their first meet with Switzerland County and Madison due to COVID. They were at Charlestown last week, and their last meet was Tuesday at Duel against Paoli. I'm not sure how that played out, but I seen a couple of the matches from the Charlestown meet, and I tell you what, there were some pretty good matches there. Brayton Walters went 3-0 on the day as far as best I remember.
Yeah, you're better off than me. That's the only thing I know is that they got served in Scottsdale.
Well, I actually got to watch the video of Braden's 3 matches where he, 3 on the day, and I think that would have put him at first place in his weight class. So I'm not sure. I didn't get a confirmation on that from Chelsea, but he was he's looking good for as small a kid as he is a fighter. So.
What weight class is he?
No. I think he's actually 120.
Oh, okay.
But I could be wrong on that.
Very short.
Ryan will probably text me here in a little while, telling me to give me the swing on that. So, but
I don't know when it was, but somebody said it was going from
December 4th would have been the top 3 invitation, I believe.
we've got 190 calls,
That's middle school.
Yep. Oh, he lost him. He actually thinned out a lot. I'm betting Max Hall is a 220 this night, which will be next year. He's an 8th grader. Max Hall is a monster. Yeah, Autumn and Big Red. I think Justin.
I was right there with you.
I had a brain fart. But anyhow, so at the Scottsburg Invitational, that is a Friday night and Saturday all-day tournament, and there were how many schools this year?
I believe 9.
9. That's actually kind of small. I was thinking that was
the lowest that I've heard.
I remember there being like 14 schools there at one time.
Let's see, my freshman and sophomore year, I think there was 14, and then junior year, I think there was 12.
Yeah. And I'm not sure if Eastern's even wrestling this year because they weren't at the Scottsburg Invitational, and they normally are. So I knew they had some.
They weren't.
They weren't at Charlestown, which I don't believe they were last year. I don't remember.
They're always at Charlestown because it's a conference.
Yeah, that's a conference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they were at
I think that's
Charlestown.
what it is. What it was last week. But anyways, so I'm not sure that they've got their coaching staff sorted out down there. So I don't know. And if they have somebody get a hold of me, because whoever their coach is down there, I'd like to get them on the radio here and get an interview with them. Okay, yeah, that'd be great. So, Emily, you got to watch some of those matches, and in particular, there was a good match with Harley Shock you were telling me about.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about that.
So I think Harley put on one of the greatest meets that I've ever seen, like my entire life of like watching wrestling. I've never seen.
Sitting right there easy. You're going to hurt his feelings.
It was pretty crazy. I don't think I've ever seen a match like this. I mean, the kid he was wrestling, I can't remember. I believe it might have been Corden, but the kid just couldn't keep his cool, and Harley knew that, and he used that to his advantage. So.
Like Miller you're telling me about?
Yes.
Clarksville.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, the kid could not keep his cool, and Harley used that to his advantage. Came out with bloody lip, maybe bloody nose. Yeah, but the kid just lost it. Ended up getting a personal foul on him.
Harley himself has a hot head, so he.
Well, and
he was able to keep his cool, so.
That, and he also knows how to get under people's skin.
Yeah.
There might have been a little bit of extra measures there from his part.
To a degree, not really.
Listen, I headbutted a dude.
You can get away with certain things, but you're so close to the referee and it's one-on-one that
You just gotta be slick.
yeah. Well,
You don't know how to be slick.
foul language will get you hit real quick, won't it?
Jalen.
Jalen, you.
Jalen.
Yeah.
Jalen got disqualified from sectionals. I did not.
Well, now that's rough, but yeah, they. Right. No, and it's not like wrestling that you see on Friday night, Monday night. It's not wrestling. Yeah. Yeah, I remember Jimmy Hart, Bill the Animal Nyhart, all those guys. Joe Yamamoto. Yeah, no, that's wrestling. We're talking wrestling.
I don't believe I mentioned this, but Harley, I believe, went 9-0, along with Brady.
Brady went 9-0 as well?
Yes, I believe so.
Wow, I didn't know that. Tell me about a kid that you see that maybe one of the freshmen that's up and coming that you think is going to be just a monster.
I believe Wslm. Wslm really stuck out
And that's Waylon Foster.
Yes, Waylon Foster. I mean, he's always been good. Back whenever I was, in on some of the middle school meets when they were in middle school.
Yeah.
Him and Braden just were always one of the top ones I believe, along with Evan and Zane when they were in there as well.
Yeah, and you're talking about some kids that they're the what we call the little end, so they're less than 182, less than 170.
We started calling the little end everyone from 152 and below.
Okay.
Or no, 152 was included in the heavies.
Really?
Yeah, with well, it was Blake whenever we started doing that. So he could wrestle with everybody.
Right. So yeah, the little end guys they're explosive. Watching those guys get out there and just fly around that mat is just exciting to me. Now the big end, that's where you see all your brute force. You're not going to see the prettiest, slickest, smoothest moves, but you're going to see the powerhouses come out in the big end. And especially, well, you remember Aaron Holland. I mean, he was in the big end, but he was also smooth and slick, and had all those great moves that he would pull out, and he always made it look pretty for being one. Well, he was he wrestled heavy for us last year.
Yep.
And
he was heavy, and you were 220. I was 95.
That's right. And, so for a kid that is wrestling anywhere from 20 to 285 pounders, he's out there pulling, just the slickest little Granby rolls, and he's, throwing Petersons around. I mean, he knows the
Oriented, smooth.
Just a smooth, duck under, lat drop. He loved that lat drop. But
especially on Jimmy practice is great. Love watching that.
Yeah. Like I said, Emily got to see most of the Scottsburg Invitational, so she knows what's coming. And we had talked a little bit during football season about how the football team just didn't seem like it had a family environment, and there wasn't a it wasn't a tight knit community this year. And but with some of these freshmen that are coming up, they're working towards that, and I think they're going to get to turn that thing around. And you've got freshmen that are struggling, that are and of course you're going to have these kids with wrestling. You don't get to pick. You don't have a JV most of the time. So you're going to have freshmen that are wrestling in a weight class with seniors, and they're just going to get manhandled. And Emily wanted to talk a little bit about what she wanted to see out of these freshmen.
As far as brotherhood goes with the wrestling team, I feel like they do have that tight of a bond just because, after personally sitting on some of them practices, that they're very close.
Yeah, well,
they're very close.
It's wrestling. You get really close.
But yeah, even with the freshmen, I think that they are all buddies, and I think that they get along pretty well. But I wouldn't know from that sitting in on practices this year.
Right.
But just from what I witnessed from invitationals, just from the freshmen that wrestled invitationals, I feel like I need to see more. I don't need to be meaner. I feel like a lot of them weren't as mean. I think they were just thrown around most of the mats.
You think they're
on the mats?
You think they're intimidated?
I don't know. Maybe some of them.
I think a lot of that comes from being a freshman in high school.
Yeah, and
it comes from middle school being the top dog as an 8th grader, and then going to get thrown right back immediately into being the little guy.
Yeah, and
right, and like we were saying, you don't get classed by grade, you get classed by weight class. So you could be, if you're a heavier freshman coming in, and you're having to work out with our stud 220 or something, it's going to be rough on you, and if you're wrestling off for that, you're in for a whooping.
And like you said, a lot of the other guys in their weight class just overpower them. So our 220, he's kind of short, but most of the other 220s that he wrestled just were so much bigger than him, and I believe they were older than him, and I was just That's like crazy.
Well, and like you said, I think our 220 this year is Austin Reynolds.
Yes. Awesome.
And that kid's got some heart. He was a great football player, great lineman. He just he's in a different element now, so he's going to have to find himself, just as any of us would have, going into that. And, but you're right. I think that some of these kids may need to, like Coach Medlock used to say during football season, you need to turn off that nice guy switch and flip on that mean guy switch and find that well, it's just like me and Mark used to say. When are you going to get tired of getting punched in the mouth? When are you going to step up and be the guy punching somebody in the mouth? Let's not candy coat this. Wrestling is not for the faint of heart. It is a very physical sport, and if anything is going to teach you to fight for your life, that's it. Because you quite possibly could be at any time out there. So you've got to be able to take the intimidation, put it in your back pocket, and not worry about that until after the match. So we used to say that there are two types of kids in the wrestling room. There are wrestlers, and then there are wrestling dummies. And the reason, and it's not, we're not saying that the kids are not smart, but those are the kids that are just there. They're just going through the motions. They're not putting in the extra effort. So they're going to be the practice squad. They're going to be kids that our stuff they're going to warm up against. You would think, but there are some kids that just, they just coast, and that's not good for them. And that's not good for team points or individuals or anything. So you got to kind of, it's hard because with football you try to coach your weakest link up. You take that weakest kid and you coach the team around him and elevate him. But with wrestling, it's an individual, sport. So you have to choose to put in the effort. You have to choose to, I say it's an individual sport, but all those individuals add up to a team sport. So you've got to, you've got to be able to get that kid, and it's, you can't make the choice for him. Well, it could happen. I mean, it could happen. It was, and like I said, that's not a dig at a kid for, because he's not bright or whatever. That's, he's the kid that, okay, go warm up the stud, and it's just the nature of the sport, and you hate to see those kids, because some of those kids have got some really great potential, but, whenever they're going up against Blake McLaughlin or, an Aaron Holland or Porter Howie, there's going to be a practice dummy, there's going to be a warm-up kid, and it's discouraging sometimes, but at the same time, when that kid shows that effort and puts in that work, it's going to pay off one way or another. So, like we always said, wrestling always carries over into football. You're going to be, if you're a dual sport kid, you're going to be, that kid. You're going to be that much better off whenever you get on the football field, on the football field. So, all right, I've rambled on long enough. We're going to take a quick commercial break, and hopefully we can drive back with Coach Dennis Tankersley from West Washington.
Whenever the forecast is nice, you're probably thinking about enjoying the great outdoors. Whether that means doing some four-wheeling or hitting the road in an RV, First Harrison Bank can help make your dreams a reality with a loan designed to meet your needs. Talk with one of our associates about our options for RV, boat, and camper financing. If you're looking for a great auto loan, we can help with that too. To get started, just visit us at firstharrison.com. Keep it easy, keep it local. Subject to credit approval, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Communication is important. On the football field, just like in life. That's why Indiana Farm Bureau insurance agent Jason Petmeyer wants to get to know his customers. Whether it's auto, home, life, farm, or business insurance, Jason will listen to you and help you create an insurance plan to match your needs. Call supporter of the Salem Lions.
Rock and Recovery Minute. Recovery Watch. If you wonder why, offense, I'll point out that I drive better than I drive. Janet Keith, syndicated radio host, voiceover actor, and TV personality, shares a story about the dangers of driving while high. And then I will get home by the bus. If I can catch that seven on the right and get around that bus, I'm sliding sideways when I hit the ditch. But in the pouring rain, I slid back, heading to the crossing, getting there before the train. It was just another run, he said. And I'll be home free. Until Clark told me, I've never seen it. Hear the whole story and learn more at rockandrecovery.com. This has been a Rock and Recovery Minute. Recovery rocks.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we are live with Coach Dennis Tankersley. How you doing tonight, Tank?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. I got Emily and Nate in the studio with me, my son and daughter, and of course you know Nate from coaching against him several times, and Emily was the manager at Salem last year. And, Tank, how long have you been the head coach out at West Washington? I was looking for that earlier and I couldn't figure it out.
We started the program 6 years ago.
Man,
and I've been coach for 6 years.
It does not seem like it's been that long ago. That's awesome.
This is year number 6. Yeah.
Oh, so how's the season going this year?
Going pretty good. Room's really nice. Room's full. You know, every day got kids rolling, got kids fighting every single day. Seems like that transmitting over into the matches we're going to. You know, we started the season off. We headed north, went up to Bloomington South, Bloomington North, and wrestled Bloomington South, North, Center Grove, Martinsville, Columbus North. And we wrestled some pretty big schools, but you know, it showed us where we were pretty early on in the season. So they've been working hard to room everything.
Yeah, it looks like your last meet was a set of duels at home against Mitchell and Borden. Is that right?
That one was at Borden, but yeah, we went down to Borden for that one.
Oh, okay. How'd that turn out?
Good match. You know, Mitchell had a pretty full team. I think they forfeited maybe 3 weight classes or something like that. So we matched up really good with them and everything. They got a young team. New coach, Greg Brown, over there. He's doing good stuff. He was a good wrestler back in high school. I remember him. So it'll take him a little bit to get his feet underneath of him, because being a head coach is about a million other things than just teaching kids how to do things.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
He's getting to that now. And
how's Borden look this year?
Borden's good. Borden had their heavier weight guys were pretty good. They a 170. Lane Owens, he wrestled him, got beat by the Borden kid, strong kid, pretty muscular guy. Got tattoos, you know how tattoos are, man. You see a wrestler with a tattoo, that's a couple wins right there, no matter what.
That's right, that's right. I think Emily calls that kid little Gronkowski.
Yeah, little Gronkowski.
Nailed it. They did.
He looks just like Gronkowski.
Yeah, he's a tough kid.
Now they had what, Lodi Cheatham at, what was he at 152 last year?
152 and 145.
He wrestled both last year.
Yeah,
now he's moved on and he's wrestling down there at Campbellsville. They got anybody that filled up that spot?
That's some pretty big shoes to fill. When somebody leaves a program like that, that's not a void that's easily taken care of. So I mean, he was an exceptional athlete.
Absolutely.
Took the wrestling really good. You know, I mean, he's one of the kids that multi-sport athlete. Already had the mindset of determination, that kind of stuff. That's the stuff that wrestling's made of, man. It's that never quit, never die, never stop attitude. And, you know, he embodied that. And that's what you get when you see those kids that excel like that. I mean, kids on our team, we got 2 guys nearing their 100th win in career wins, which is a pretty big milestone.
Yeah, that's
I mean, just for 6 years having the program is one thing, but, I mean, in the county alone, get 25 wins average a season is pretty tough.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And, you know, Wyatt Johnson, senior, you know, he's wrestling 152 right now. He's sitting at 98 wins, so, you know, that's a big deal for him. It's a big deal for us in the program. You know, it's just, and that doesn't even count all of the postseason stuff that he's done. You know, that's just high school records. And, you know, Mason Jones is right there behind him, another senior, 94 wins. So to have two guys on a team like that, you know, those are the kind of voids that don't easily get filled. But the good thing is they're in the room and people are seeing what it takes to be that person, and you're going to get more of those. So that's just kind of building tradition out there, man. I think it's working, I think.
Yeah, and like I said, your program, I mean, like I said, I don't even remember it being that long ago, but I guess it had been, because we went through a couple of guys before Mark took over at the head coach spot. You know, we had Ethan Ray, and of course I know you coached Ethan there for a while, and he took over the spot here at Salem. But do you guys have any of your, you know, maybe your guys that graduated last year, year before, do they come back in to the wrestling room and help warm up you guys?
Absolutely, man. I mean, we've got a pretty good policy there at our wrestling room stuff. I mean, the admission is you've wrestled under me before. I mean, I got guys that are coming back, and we reach out to those guys, and it's just community support the way I look at it. You know, I've got kids that actually we've got another kid, you know, Shepard Griffith. He's over at Kentucky Wesleyan, and he's wrestling in college right now. He's been wrestling in several collegiate meets, and got his first win the other day by 10 fall. That was a big deal for him. So, you know, he's in on break. He comes into the room, and he's working. He's bringing that knowledge from college wrestling room into the room. So, yeah, it's good.
And that's got to be beneficial to you as a coach, to have somebody that has that skill set that can come in there and maybe pick up some of your younger guys and say, hey, maybe this is something you need to clean up, or you know, this is what you need to work on, or this is how you can make that move work a little smoother.
Yeah. Well, kind of the way we run our practices, man, and this is the way it's always been, and it works for us, I think, is every student's a teacher, every teacher's a student, so we kind of have that. When your wrestling partner isn't there, something like that, you miss something not having that person there. So your wrestling partners in here, we got a lot of knowledge of wrestling in the room right now. So and it shows. Those kids they're helping the younger guys. They're working them, putting them in position, things like that, hitting good solid moves, good technique, things like that. You know, and it rubs off. The bad rubs off, the good rubs off. So
yeah.
Luckily, this is a good. So
yeah, and that's one thing is catching those bad habits early, and you know, having another set of eyes in the room to say, hey, you know, this kid needs to work on this here, or you know, let's polish this up a little bit, make this a little bit smoother. That's definitely got to be beneficial to everybody involved.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You know, one thing, I guess this would be a shameless promotion for Matt Boss. We started the stats program. It's a stats program back when we, you know, started the program and everything. And the kids watch their matches. I mean, it's the same thing as football players do as adults. I mean, we're watching matches, and we're talking about it in the room. We're working on the things that they need to work on, their strengths, their weaknesses, and it was great. It's nice having those opportunities to see guys kind of work on different things, different parts of their game.
Yeah, and having that video, because Mark and I used to do the same thing. We would we had a tablet that we would video all the matches, and then we'd go back and you tell a kid, well, you know, you did this, you did that. No. Well, let me show you where you did that and did that. So there, you know, there's no denying it. You know, so that's another tool that is a great idea to help you go back and have a coachable moment with a kid.
Yeah, absolutely. I know Tyler, the guy that's in charge of that place up there. I'm going to tell him he needs to give me a kickback on this and start plugging on the radio. So.
There you go. So next meet, you guys are going down there this Saturday to Jeff Classic along with Salem and quite a few other schools, and that's quite an honor to be able to be invited to that, because that's an invitation-only type of tournament, and you know, to get to go down there. And I do believe that the last time last year maybe, whenever we were at the Jeff Classic, I got to sit in the chair across from you for one good match.
I think you might have. I do remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I was pretty excited about that after being out of it for a couple of years, and Coach Andy needed a little bit of help, so I jumped down there and helped out a little bit. But that is a great tournament. You've got some really good schools. Jeff's always, they've got some monsters down there, and they go hard. Tell me about the excitement of actually getting to go down there and wrestle the Jeff Classic.
Well, man, that tournament is. There's a lot of people here that haven't even been to a duel.
Yeah.
And if you haven't been, I suggest go watch one. They're exciting.
Absolutely.
But the atmosphere down there at that place, I mean, you've got 24 schools
right
competing in this thing. So they're all, a lot of those teams have pretty full rosters and stuff. And it branches, there's like Kentucky schools down there. You've got more.
Yeah.
There's several Kentucky schools. You've got Raleigh, Missouri that comes. They're bringing 14 boys and 14 girls for the girls tournament.
Yeah, I was so shocked to see that school from Missouri there, but they came and put on a show.
Yeah, absolutely. So they'll be back this year. And it's tough competition. But that's what we're after,
Yeah, absolutely.
It's funny, being a part of every little step of our wrestling program out there. We had a club practice the other day and had a couple kids that were kind of like, I don't want to wrestle that kid, or I don't want to wrestle this kid. But the mindset in the room is we're not backing down from anybody.
Absolutely.
And, we toe the line. It's just one-on-one no matter what. So no matter how big they are, how big their school is, or how many people they're bringing, you get to toe the line one-on-one. So.
Well, and we were just talking about that in our last segment about how, it's an individual sport, so only you can decide, when you're tired of getting punched in the mouth and you're going to go out there and do the punching.
Exactly. Yeah, some of them learn it a lot sooner than others.
Yeah, some of them get sick of getting their face drugged across the mat and, finally get up and do their thing.
Yeah, absolutely. So, no, it's a good opportunity for us to showcase our guys going down there. Another one in our room, Daniel Miner, 106. I mean, that kid's tough. I saw him in the hallway today. I said, you're no longer D minor, you're going to be D major.
Well, and thank God that Donnie Feeler graduated. That kid was a monster at 106.
You're not wrong, man. I see looking at Donnie Feeler's body type, how he was, and he's just force to be reckoned with. And Daniel looks, he's kind of got that build. The kid ain't got an ounce of fat on him. He's pretty shredded. So, he's tough. He learns good. He's lanky. He's got long arms. I told him he had octopus tentacles today, and he goes wrapped around somebody. They're not going anywhere. So. Tough kid. So he's gonna make his statement down there Saturday. He's excited about it. He's pumped. Bloomington South kid beat him when we went up there. So a little bit of vengeance on that, getting to wrestle somebody possibly that you've been beat by. So yeah, looking forward to the opportunity.
Yeah, and talking about some of those seniors, Nate here, he knows all about that. When you experience your last match of your high school career and the joy / heartbreak that you feel at that moment, it's unexplainable to anybody that's not experienced it. So it's great that bringing those other kids back that wrestled for you in the past, letting them get back in there and help bring that next kid to that level. It's I don't know. It's a different experience for sure. Watching a kid that has wrestled his last match, watching the emotions in their faces.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's something that's part of you, and you never want to really let good parts of you go. And a lot of these guys that are doing this, that's the longevity of the sport, man. It's a big part of you, and when it's a big part of you like that, you're going to speak it out. So those guys coming back to the room, being a part of it, volunteer, get a hold of your local clubs and get involved. I mean, it's funny, the older you get, the better you were. That's kind of one of those sayings that kind of rambles around in my head and stuff a bunch, but I love having those guys come back and just keep learning, keep being the student, keep being the teacher, helping younger generations come up and see that this is a tough sport. Got to have a tough mindset to do it, and we're hopefully doing it right out there. And we're hopefully building some champions, growing some champions out
That's
there.
right. That's right. Now, real quick, have you got anything with club that you need to promote or anything like that?
This Sunday, we're heading up to Columbus North. We're taking all the varsity weight classes for the SIWL duels. There's 2 pools up there with like Jennings County, Columbus North, Madison, Scottsburg there, Seymour, Shelbyville, Edgewood. I think Pekin is in that league. So yeah, it's going to be a good tournament. Hopefully, turnout. Going to have an extra practice here this week for those guys going up there to that. So exciting! I'm taking a good team up there, man. I love talking about all these levels, man.
Yeah, I know it. That's what I was just going to say. A couple years ago, Bub and I actually got the opportunity to go up there and coach Salem's club at Diesel City. We went up and helped out, and I tell you what, we were more excited about those little guys than we were at our own matches, weren't we?
Those guys are hype. I'm telling you, it's exciting.
Yes.
3 minutes of fury.
Okay.
Just
But you can't beat the experience without having to actually do it.
quick.
Well, not so much as a wrestler, but as a coach,
yeah.
watching those little guys get after it
For sure.
was probably more exciting to me than watching you guys get after it, because I knew what was happening with you guys. These little guys, they surprise you at every corner.
Every time. Yep.
All right, Tank. Well, it's been good talking to you tonight. Can't wait to get a hold of you again, and good luck tomorrow or this weekend at the Jeff Classic. And like I said, stay after it.
Absolutely. Hey, big shout out to all the people that tuned in tonight. I appreciate you guys tuning in, listening to Wrestling Talk.
Get your butts in those stands.
Yeah, come out and see us. All right, Nate. I appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
All right, Tank. We'll talk to you later. You have a good night.
All right, bye.
All right, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Things change. Insurance should too. Jason can help you see if you're covered for life permanent changes. Call Jason Detmeyer, the Washington County agent, at 812-883-2995 or visit infarmbureau.com.
Do you dread the alarm clock? Do you feel like you haven't slept when you hit the snooze? Do others complain about your snoring? Treating adults, children, and teens, Dr. Emily Servance with Schneck Sleep Medicine is specially trained to help you get the most restful sleep possible. Snoring, restless legs, sleep apnea, night terrors, insomnia, all common signs of a sleep disorder. If you think you have a sleep problem, talk to your physician about a referral to Schneck Sleep Medicine. Schneck Sleep Medicine, schneckmed.org.
Hello there, this is Nat King Cole. We all are happy and very Christmas. Is in the giving. So let's live life as cars was happy. Cars was not happy. Simon happening. It's those who have, give those who haven't. What a Christmas day. The Marine Reserve will help you fill your sleigh with lots and lots of toys for tots. So give a little toy today.
Since 1947, the United States Marine Corps has been helping Santa build his sleigh, making happier holidays for deserving children right in your community. Go to toysfortots.org and learn how you can make a difference.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back, and we are live with Coach Brett Walters. He is the middle school wrestling coach at, why is everybody laughing at me? He's the middle school wrestling coach out at Salem Middle School. How you doing tonight, Brett?
Oh, I'm doing good. How about you, Will?
Oh, we're doing pretty good. How'd practice go tonight?
It went good. Did a lot of live stuff and a lot of conditioning drilling. The kids are starting to like it. We're starting to get the knowledge of some moves.
Let me ask you, what's your conditioning like at the middle school level?
It's building. So mostly what my guys do is they run about a mile before practice starts. And then when practice starts, we either do one of two things. If it's a Wednesday like today, we will do sprints for about 10 minutes after that, we make it a relay race. So they do the mile, then we'll do 10 minutes sprints, and then we will do pummeling drills, so hand fighting for about a minute to a minute and a half for each period, and they'll do 5 periods of that.
All right, yeah, and then that sounds a lot similar to how Mark and I ran practices. And we were talking earlier that Tank has said that he's gotten away from a lot of the running and goes live a whole lot more. And I always, whenever I first heard that, I kind of I wondered about the wisdom of that. But they obviously he's got something because the proof is in the pudding out there in West Washington.
It is. And I agree with you on that. You can go a lot of live. You got the kids that's got the knowledge set to do live.
Right, but whenever you're starting off with younger kids and having to teach things, it's not that easy.
No, it's not. We build up to live. Like we've been wrestling now on the mat for about a month and a half, so we've been building up to go live. And my game plan and mine, Ryan's game plan for January and February, is we will be doing a lot of live. They will be doing at least 8 minutes of live at the beginning of practice. And they'll do 1 minute sessions of that. So hopefully we can build up a little bit of lung capacity.
Yeah, and that's the one thing. If you're wrestling for 3 periods and you're gassed by the second, you're getting beat. And that's the one thing is watching these kids when they get to that 3rd period. Who's still got gas in the tank is that's where it matters.
I mean that even goes to above all level. I was watching one of the wrestlers that destroyed both of his knees in college, and he took last season off and he wrestled again at the beginning of this season, and he was a completely different wrestler, Spencer Lee.
Yeah, Spencer Lee. We were just talking about him this week, weren't we, Bub? Bub don't want it.
And they do that gas tank for years. But this season I watched him wrestle his first match, and he ended up winning. But I mean, that was the first time he's been in 3 periods in forever.
Right.
He was tired. He was exhausted.
But Bub does not like to talk about Spencer Lee much because he's in Iowa and he really wants him to be at Penn State with his, because that's his team. So, we talk about Spencer Lee, but it's
Andy Lyons.
Please. We just need a good 125 for once. It's been 3 years.
He said we need a good 125 for once. It's been 3 years.
True.
But yeah, and you're right because you could tell that he took off last season and was working on different things. But he's still Spencer Lee.
Oh God, yeah.
So who do you? Since we're sitting here talking about some of these D1 champions and things, who do you have that you think has the potential to be a D1 wrestler from Salem? We need somebody to step up and become one.
We need the first one to come up, yeah. Man, I don't know. Looking at my level, high school.
Well,
in general,
listen,
they can have.
What you sent to high school, some of your freshmen that you sent up, I see a couple of them that could very well be state champions. But I'm thinking more of somebody, maybe even a first-year wrestler that shows some potential to move up.
So, I mean, I honestly see Logan Dent.
I can see that.
If he wants to stay with it, here's his thing. He's going to have to choose. Sometimes he's got to choose between what he really wants to put forth and the wrestling or the football. And unfortunately, one's going to really take precedent of the other, especially when he makes junior and senior year.
Yeah, for sure.
That kid will be a D1 athlete, either football or wrestling. I mean, that kid's going to be on something.
Yeah, and that's one of those kids that. And you hate to say that. You hate to say that, you're going to have to pick one or the other, but one of them is going to have to be that love. Just like Nate took off his senior year of football because he wanted to focus on wrestling. There is room for all those sports, but one of them is going to be your passion.
Yep. I mean, you can do both even at college level, but to really be great at one of them, unfortunately, you will have to give up your other one.
Right.
Maybe not completely, but it's going to be like you said. You have to give up a little love to that.
One of them is
just dedicate a little bit more time to the other one.
Yeah, one of them is definitely going to suffer because of the other. It's not like in high school where you can do both and one benefits from the other.
Right.
Because moving into that, I mean, for the most part, you're getting your way paid through college to do this sport, you know, or the other sport. And people don't understand there's more money out there for schooling for wrestling than any other sport. People just don't realize it.
Yeah, because we don't down here, we don't promote it for one, and down here, there's nobody down here for it. So
right.
It's out of the state that you go, or you get picked up by IU, which is still a possible thing.
You know, and I tell you, IU doesn't have a terrible team. They've actually the couple times that we've went up there for their clinics, they've been pretty decent up there.
Yeah, and actually IU was okay last year, and I believe, if I'm correct, unless they just lost the Eastern tournament, they are undefeated right now, going in at 6-0.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Buck can look that up right quick. Let us know. But
yeah, they're doing actually excellent this year. Like what they've lost recently, when I checked them last week, they're sitting good.
So I was trying to get Curtis to call in to talk a little bit about the club. How's things going down there? You got any insight on that?
So the club's going. It's still going strong. It's chaotic, crazy pandemonium when you get four-year-olds on the mat.
Well, yeah, it's like
trying to teach them the same thing.
It's like herding cats down there, you know, whenever they're at that age. And you know, you've got some of the kids that want to go and they like to do the exercise and they like to work out, but whenever it comes to the live wrestling, you know, whenever another kid puts his hands on you and manhandles you, then you know it's like, whoa, this is different. You know, I got to figure this out. But luckily, you guys have had pretty good luck with, like with Joji last year. You know, he just was a 4-year-old, you know, warming up and being able to get out and wrestle, and now he's, you know, a kindergartner and doing his thing. And I tell you what, that kid's going to be a monster. He will be a state champion if he keeps going at the level he is.
Josephine?
Oh yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's, and it just goes to show you that at any level or any time, when a kid gets it, he gets it, you know, and the younger they get it, the better off they are. But if you keep at it from this age, you know, from that 4-year-old age on, you know, and keep them engaged, and that's, as the coaches, that's their job, to keep those kids engaged and keep them interested.
I mean, it's the same thing if you look at the youth league in football that you guys started so many years back.
Right.
You know, that youth league in football, yeah, you're trying to do the outside sweeps or whatever. You barely run it up the middle. And then in middle school, hey, now we're going to start pounding that center.
That's right.
And let's treat this a little bit more like high school. We might throw a pass or two. And then high school, you know, those kids should know all the basics, all the fundamentals. They shouldn't be scared to pound the middle as a running back. They shouldn't be scared to air it out.
Right, and that's the idea, to start at that level. That way, it's making it easier for you guys at the middle school level and at the high school level, even in wrestling, to it makes it easier because you don't have to go back and teach this kid how to take a shot, or you know what a double leg is, or a duck under. You know,
that's one or two kids who are brand new to wrestling, but at the same time, you know, if you've got the majority of your kids, or at least wrestle a year, maybe 2 years, or, you know, four years by the time they get to middle school, it makes the team just go by, practices go by easier, because everybody's picking it up a lot faster. You got more people to help out the other kids that don't really understand, and just makes the coach's life makes it a ton easier for us.
Absolutely. Now, we're about to run out of time here, but there's a few things I wanted to mention that you and I talked about earlier. Now, the Salem Middle School wrestling team is in need of water and snacks for practices and tournaments. So if anybody would like to, donate some of that stuff, you can get a hold of Brett Walters or Ryan Steepleton. Ryan, you can get a hold of on Facebook. Brett goes by an alias on Facebook, but everybody knows who he is. So, do you guys have a middle school wrestling page?
Yes, we do. Yes,
okay,
it's the Salem Middle School Wrestling Lions, and we post all of our stuff on there as well.
Okay, so check them out on Facebook, and if anything else, if you need to get a hold of me for donations, that's fine. I've got a direct line to these guys, and we'll make that happen. Also, I wanted to mention December 29th, Salem is hosting the Super 6, the Salem High School and it's the only home meet of the season for the Lions. And we really want to, wrestling starts at 9 a.m., and we really want to get as many people in those seats as possible, being that it is our only home meet. One thing that I was told whenever me and Mark first started coaching the varsity team is that wrestling is always in the red for high schools, and it's because we don't have those butts in the seats watching this sport. And I tell you, you go and watch one duel, you're going to be hooked. You'll be, you will want to be at every home meet we have. So.
Yes, it's good that, it sucks for the high school team that they only got that one home meet, but like I said, as long as we get people to show up at that one and they get hooked on it, the middle school, I think we've got 5 home meets of the season. So we've got a bunch, so we're hoping to bring a lot of love to the middle school, and maybe that will start bringing a lot of love to the wrestling in general, and we can, like I said, get out of that red and make them a little bit of money and get a little bit extra for these kids that put in a ton of hard work, and they can get something at the end of the season for it.
Absolutely. And by the way, Indiana is 4-0. They are not ranked, but they are undefeated.
They are still undefeated?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Brett, it's been great talking to you tonight, and I hope we get to do this again, buddy.
All right, brother.
All right, you have a good night.
You too, man.
All right, bye. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're running a little over, but that's okay. You guys appreciate everybody listening. And seriously, if you've never been to a wrestling meet, go to one. Get your butt in those stands because you will be hooked. This is the most exciting sport on the planet. I really don't have anybody to say goodnight to. Jake, you got anybody? We got to come up with somebody. Good night, Joe. We'll go to Joe. Joe's our go-to. All right, you guys have a great night. Bring it. Yeah.
We're celebrating our 50th season of Coach's Corner on WSLM Radio, ready to take you into the WSLM Sports Zone. Coach's Corner is your chance to get to know your local coaches, players, and staff of each local school and get the X's and O's before the next games. Join us on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. for the Red Hot Stove League for the latest from the Cincinnati Reds, and stay around for Coach's Corner. During the week, you'll also hear from IU and Purdue coaches, as well as updates from Indy Racing, NASCAR, and the Indianapolis Colts. You'll find us on WSLM 97.9 FM and WSLM 1220 AM, along with live streaming on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Be sure and follow us all season for a front row seat and a closer look at high school and regional sports.
I know, you're excited, Santa. This coming Friday and Saturday, we have 4 great basketball teams playing in the holiday tourney at West Washington High School. Borden, Salem, West Washington, and East Washington. Santa, it's going to be a great time, so tune in on WSLM AM and WSLM FM for the play-by-play and color and stats and all the action for the holiday tourney at West Washington this Friday and Saturday.
Ho, 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 ho. Keep playing. Keep working. Keep going. And keep moving. With the exceptional orthopedic care at Baptist Health. With an experienced team and a full line of advanced services and procedures, it's no wonder most people choose Baptist to help them keep on. Keeping on. Visit BaptistHealth.com/ortho to find a Baptist Health provider.
Things change. Insurance should too. Jason can help you see if you're covered for life constant changes. Call Jason Petmeyer, your Washington County agent, at 812-883-2995 or visit infarmbureau.com.
Ho, ho, ho! This is Galen Orr. Santa Claus is coming to town this year, and we believe he has already made his stop here at John Jones, bringing fantastic deals on all of our year-end inventory. Santa has been looking to upgrade his sleigh, and he has found just the spot to do business. If you're tired of being pulled around by Rudolph and the crew, come check out some of our new rides with plenty of reindeer power. We have a list of cars between all of our 5 locations that we can pull from, and you can see something shiny and new that you're wanting on Santa's short list? Give us a call at 877-473-5546 to set up your appointment today. And from your local John Jones family, we want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas.
With McDonald's with their fresh